With the new Buffys now being available and emergency nerfs confirmed, things don't look too good. 8-Bit and Surge are still destroying the meta, as are Max and Brock, although they aren't nearly as bad. However, I want to give Supercell credit where credit is due, as they did release 2 fairly balanced Buffy brawlers, that being Meg and Rico. While Rico's hyper-star Buffys are sort of obnoxious, he's still pretty balanced, as is Meg, at least in my opinion. What makes Meg balanced, you might be thinking? Well, let's start with her gadget Buffys. These are the only one of 3 you could argue are unbalanced, which I'd say I agree with. The emergency nerfs will tone them down just the right amount, I think. They're shown on screen. Her new support capabilities that her healing gadget allows, as well as the offensive potential she unlocks from the reworked 2-box gadget, makes her much more versatile and fresh, which is what I believe Buffys should do. Her star Buffys are also interesting, although a bit more boring, simply making her more well-rounded. If you want defense, choose Force Field and Jolting Volts. For purely offense, Heavy Metal and Toolbox are your best bet. I personally usually play Heavy Metal and Jolting Volts, as I think it's the most well-rounded combination, but it's just me. Her hyper Buffys are also pretty decent, although they don't feel too different from her base kit. You just do a lot more damage. In Little Form, the homing is pretty insane, but when are you going to be using hyper in Little Form? Anyhow, I just wanted to put it out there. I think Meg's Buffys are pretty cool, and I hope Supercell doesn't go overboard and nerf them again.